Instrumental to the RSF's prosecution of its campaign of genocide since June 2023 was its securing of new supply routes for weapons, equipment, and logistics for use in the conflict. As a result, the RSF was now able to use several types of weapons, several types of heavy and sophisticated weapons, and these played a major role in its capture of El Geneina. In January 2024, the UN Security Council's panel of experts on the Sudan, whose members had been appointed by a composition of the Security Council, which included the UAE itself, reported that the RSF's main supply route for arms is through eastern Chad, which borders West Darfur. The panel assessed allegations that a heavy rotation of cargo planes coming from Abu Dhabi International Airport to Amjaras Airport in eastern Chad, transporting weapons, ammunition, and medical equipment for the RSF, as well as the UAE's denial and assertions that its cargo planes had a purely humanitarian purpose. The panel concluded that the allegations against the UAE were credible. According to information gathered by the panel from sources in Chad and Darfur, the allegations were credible. Several sources in eastern Chad and Darfur, including among local native and administrative leaders and armed groups operating in those areas, reported to the panel that the UAE in September 2024 built a field hospital, emblazoned with the banner of the Red Crescent, next to the Amjaras airfield. But, tellingly, when the Red Cross sought to visit in order to understand what the UAE operation was doing under its protected banner, the officials were turned away for security reasons. The assessment of the Sudan's General Intelligence Service was that the unnatural expansion of activity in the Amjaras airport facilities, the flights to the airport, and the heavy presence of combat vehicles and military camps are not consistent with the argument that this was for the purpose of providing the needs of the field hospital. An advisor to the American NGO, the Sudan Conflict Observatory, Justin Lynch, put it this way: there is no plausible explanation for these airlifts except for weapons support to the RSF. No one is fooled. Likewise, the Sudanese General Intelligence Service has concluded that the UAE's field hospital at Amjaras Airport is the primary supply and support hub for the enemy. It has also determined that the UAE is continuing to use N'Djamena Airport in western Chad for the same purpose. The UAE, for its part, has sought to characterize such conclusions as nothing more than a duplicitous media disinformation campaign. Meanwhile, on 22nd January 2024, the European Union designated Al Junaid Multi-Activities Company under its Sudan sanctions regime. This Sudanese holding company which had already been designated under the United Kingdom's sanction regime, is owned by Abdul Rahim Daglo, the brother of General Hamdan and his two sons. The reasons given by the European Union for the designation included a finding that the RSF is also using Al Junaid's gold production and exports to secure military support from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to which most of Sudan's gold production is smuggled, including the provision of weapons used by the RSF in the conflict in Sudan. On 21 May 2024, the United Nations Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide briefed the Security Council in a meeting where the UAE was invited to participate. She took the occasion at this meeting to raise the alarm, clearly and unequivocally, about the ongoing situation in the Sudan, which bears all the marks of a risk of genocide, including strong allegations that the crime has already been committed. Civilians are far from being protected, and civilian populations are being targeted based on their identity. In Darfur and El Fasher, civilians are being attacked and killed because of the color of their skin, their ethnicity, and who they are. The Special Advisor expressed extreme concern about the attacks on the ethnic Masalit community in West Darfur, allegedly perpetrated with an explicit intent to destroy, and emphasized that the human rights and humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in the Sudan contravenes the very essence of the international obligations to prevent and punish the crime of crimes, as enshrined by the Genocide Convention. The risk of genocide exists in the Sudan. It is real, and it is growing every single day. On 5 June 2024, the Special Advisor observed in connection with El Fasher that it was unquestionable that risk factors and indicators for genocide and related crimes are present, and the risks are increasing. And on 20 September 2024, she expressed grave concern over reports that the RSF had breached the third defensive line around El Fasher, with one of El Fasher's IDP camps